What's going on, everyone? Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with your free pick in the UConn versus Sacred Heart college basketball matchup going down Wednesday, November 6, 2024. Just a reminder, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and smash that thumbs up. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games that I love, including my daily $15 best bet, head on over to Pickdawgz.com and click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page. But let's get to this one between UConn and Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart coming in off of their season opening loss to Temple by a final score of 81-70. And keep in mind, this was a Sacred Heart team that last year, shot a lot of threes and needed those threes to really get by. They finished 16-16. They were a 500 team last year, but they needed their threes to fall because they were shooting 68. They're the 68th ranked team in terms of shooting their threes last year. 267th in three-pointers attempted per game, so they weren't shooting a ton, but it made up a fair bit of their offense. Almost 30% of their points were coming from behind the arc. And I say that they needed those points because they weren't a very good two-point shooting team. They were in the bottom 100 nationally in terms of free throw shooting, and were really relying on defense and forcing turnovers and free throw defense to really get the job done. So, for Sacred Heart to not be able to hit those threes in the opener proved problematic as Temple, pulled out in the second half. Now, if they give Sacred Heart their flowers, they at least kept the first half close against Temple, but they shot just 5 of 21 from 3. Numbers like that aren't going to cut it, especially when you go up against a UConn team that are your two-time defending national champions, finished 37-3 overall last year, 18-2 in conference play to win the Big East regular season title, took out Xavier, St. John's, Marquette to win the Big East title, and what's even more crazy, they replicated their performance. They actually surpassed their performance in the NCAA tournament from the season prior. They beat Stetson, Northwestern, San Diego State, Illinois, Alabama, and Purdue all by 14 plus. The first team to win all 6 tournament games since the field expanded to 64 in 1985 to win all of their games by 14 or more points, breaking the previous tournament's record of all of the wins coming by 13 points by the previous year's UConn team. For largest margin of victory, 140 points. Average margin of victory, 23.3 points per game. Think about that for a second. For all the quality that's in the NCAA tournament, UConn has won their last 12 NCAA tournament games, all by at least 13 points. Now, Dan Hurley has to retool. He lost key pieces, Tristan Newton, Stephon Castle, Cam Spencer, Donovan Clingan. A couple of those guys went to the NBA, a couple of them graduated. But UConn has a heck of a recruiting class coming in. 5-star recruit Liam McNeely's coming in. Terrace Reed transferring over from Michigan. Aiden Mahaney, a star guard, coming over from Kansas. I was skeptical last year of UConn going into their title defense after winning the first national title of the two, but not only did UConn repeat, they exceeded those doubts, and nothing saying they can't do it again, and I think they started out here strong. Like I said, we saw Temple really take it, to Sacred Heart in the second half of that game, and that was a performance from Temple where, they still shot just 48% from 3, 11 of 23, missed some of their free throws. They shot around 50%, and this is a UConn team that was ended up at season's end being the most efficient offense in the country. They were 7th in effective field goal percentage, 4th in two-point shooting. Now, again, I understand that there are pieces that are transitioning in and out of the lineup, but we've seen UConn, even when there was a change in personnel from the season prior. Look at last year. Against teams that are well below their level, UConn was blowing teams out. They beat Northern Arizona by 43 points, Stonehill by 40, Mississippi Valley State by 34, Manhattan by 30. Teams that were in the bottom 60, outside the top 300 of KenPom, UConn was putting the boots to them by 30 plus. Now, Sacred Heart this season, still 336th. So if that profile fits the same, and if that carries over this season, I think this one's going to be a long one for Sacred Heart. I'm going to take UConn. I'm going to lay the points here, and that's going to be my free pick. But just a reminder, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and smash that thumbs up. And if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. While you're at Pick Dawgz, check out our betting tools. They're 100% free. They're the best betting tools in the business, and tools that you want to make sure that you have in your back pocket when you're making your best bets for the day's action. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon.